Well, my name is Shawanda Jones, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my policy analysis on national school lunch and school breakfast programs. If you grew up in a marginalized community like I did, you probably remember free or reduced lunches, or maybe not having to pay at all. Our families relied on these meals, and honestly, some of us still do today. But here's the thing, most people don't know where these programs came from or why they were created. They didn't just pop up because the government wanted to be nice. There's a story, a purpose, and a lot of changes that happen over time. In this presentation today, we're going to dig into the history, the policy details, the challenges, and why they still matter in 2025. The National School Lunch Act, Public Law 396 of the 79th Congress, was passed in 1946, followed by the Child Nutrition Act, Public Law 642 of the 89th Congress, was passed in 1966. Both laws were designed to make sure kids in school had access to healthy meals, with the federal government footing most of the bill. The USDA's Food Nutrition Service oversees them, but school handled the day-to-day delivery. These programs started because leaders realized hunger was holding kids in the country back. After World War II, they saw that poor nutrition made a difference in who could serve in the military. Fast forward, the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2010 raised nutrition standards and made access easier. Newer updates like the community eligibility provision let high poverty school feed every student for free, no forms required. Scope of the problem, you would think by now child hunger will be solved, but it's sadly not. Feeding Americans says 1 in 5 children in the U.S. live in a food insecure household. In Houston alone, there's over 360,000 kids who qualify for free or reduced meals. Think about that. Hundreds of thousands of kids right here in our own city. Hunger isn't just about feeling hungry, it affects grades, behavior, attendance, and health. If you ever try to focus on an empty stomach, you know exactly what I mean. During World War II, officials discovered that a lot of young men couldn't serve because they were malnourished as children. That was the first big wake-up call. Poor childhood nutrition wasn't just a personal issue, it was a national problem. By the 1960s, hunger was still hitting marginalized communities the hardest. That's where the Black Panther Party Free Breakfast for Children program came in starting in 1969. This wasn't just for food. It was a form of resistance against racial profiling, poverty, and government neglect. They fed thousands of kids every day before school, and they didn't ask for proof of income or paperwork. If you were a child and you were hungry, you just ate. The visibility of that program was huge. It showed the federal government that feeding kids wasn't charity, but it was justice. That pressure helped lead to the school breakfast program becoming permanent in 1975. So these programs are rooted in both wartime and civil rights, and that's something we cannot forget. Why is this policy necessary or needed? Here's the truth. For some kids, the meals that they get at school are the only meals they'll have for their day. We take for granted that breakfast is waiting for us in the kitchen or that we have lunch money in our pockets. But in a lot of homes, food is not guaranteed. Without a national policy, whether a child eats would depend on a local charity or family income, and that's not okay. These programs treat nutrition as a right and not a privilege. Hunger doesn't just hurt physically, it takes away a child's ability to learn, play, and grow. The main goal is simple: no child should be too hungry to learn. The hidden goals are powerful too. Lowering healthcare costs by preventing malnutrition, taking financial stress off struggling families, and reducing the stigma that comes with free meals. And now, with food prices rising, another goal should be keeping meals affordable so inflation doesn't widen the gap. These programs cover breakfast, lunch, summer meals, and even nutrition education. This past summer, I worked with the Houston Food Bank. I saw firsthand how important these meal based programs are, especially in neighborhoods where resources are tight. And I'll be real with you, I'm one of those parents who relied on these meals. There is no shame in it. These programs are lifelines. They give kids stability, they give parents relief, and they give communities hope. That's why they need to be funded and protected. Student Students qualify based on household income at or below 185% of the federal poverty line. Others qualify automatically through like SNAP, TANF, or foster care status. This ensures that children most in need are prioritized. Service and delivery, the USDA provides federal funding to states, and the states then distribute the money to local school districts. Meals are prepared either on site at school or through outside vendors. The community eligibility provision allows schools in high poverty areas to serve all students for free, reducing stigma and paperwork. As far as financing, policy financing, these programs are primarily federally funded with over 14 billion allocated each year. Schools are reimbursed for each meal they serve, and in some states, additional state funding helps cover costs and expand services. Research shows that access to school meals improves attendance, focus, and academic performance. These programs reduce food insecurity and were especially critical during the COVID-19 pandemic when school provided meals even during closures. Some schools still struggle with lunch debt and stigma, and meals quality can vary depending on the district resources. Despite these challenges, the National School Lunch and Breakfast Program remains essential lifelines for millions of children. Continue funding, advocating, and community involvements are critical to ensuring no child goes hungry at school. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me, and have a great night.